All right, let's nerd ourselves out a little bit. Ford has introduced an award-winning racing simulator. Now, you must know, if they're winning awards for this with all the simulators around, you must know how good it is, helping those injured in car crashes get back to physical, and I suppose you could even argue mental health. We'll talk about that. Also, on the phone side, Samsung, they're folding the competition away, if you will. Yes, I had to use the cliche. Galaxy Z Fold 5, can you believe it, is now available. Clare Petra Matthes, also Gadget Gal, she's known, joining us. Hello, Claire, good to have you back on ENC. We'll talk folding phones. Let me try that again. Folding phones in a second. Can we talk racing simulators? I know that you love the speed in the cars as much as I do. Tell me about this Ford one.
So after severe accidents, I think individuals with major spinal injuries are facing the challenging journey of not only physical rehabilitation, but like you said, psychological battles. And this collaboration is a sim racing simulator that assists patients at the National Hospital of Paraplegics in Toledo, Spain. It's developed by a company called High Speed Simulators, and this technology is inspired by the Ford Adapter, which is a program that gets people with disabilities into, or enhancing their mobility and getting them into adapted vehicles for whatever their disability might be. So the simulator experience is sort of designed to mirror the real world driving experience as closely as possible, so they can just transition from the virtual environment and get into an adapted car and hopefully be as confident as they can with the controls and the dashboard, and just it's kind of all the consistency between the simulator and the Mustang Mach-E Ford Adapter, which is a car specifically for people with disabilities.
Yeah, Ford has developed. It's not just the physical side as well, but I mean, we have to talk about something like PTSD as well, just the emotional and mental trauma as well, never mind having to adapt to whatever physical changes you're now living with as well. I mean, the PTSD after a crash, I'm sure, is significant in this. I suppose you could call it a rehabilitative racing simulator, isn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly what it's for. It's so that you can experience everything and just build up your confidence again, I suppose, and to, so that you can get back on those streets.
Can we talk quickly about the Samsung, what is this, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5? Are we really at the 5th iteration of this folding phone? Is that where we are already? How long has it been around?
Yes, can you believe it? Can you believe it? So we've got the Flip 5 and the Fold 5. So those are the two flip phones, foldable phones that Samsung has launched. Goodness, what a tongue twist. I should have practiced a bit before. So I just think, we've been talking a lot about phones, and foldables seem to be, and especially Samsung with theirs, are breaking boundaries. And these phones have more sort of real screen real estate. They are innovative, all that kind of stuff. But, I came to you earlier in the year and I showed you an Oppo flip phone. Google's got a Pixel Fold as well. OnePlus has got a foldable. They've really started this trend. Honor is about to announce a foldable at IFA 2023, or two foldables at IFA 2023. So it just shows that they've, that Samsung have started the ball rolling on this, and everybody has picked up on it and gone, hang on, there is something here. And what's great about the Flip and the Fold 5 is that they've listened to consumers and they've given them, like I said, the bigger screen on the front, the maybe a bit better camera, the better chip, all that kind of stuff that people who want to have a phone, or who still want a great phone, even if it is a flip phone.
Because there's nothing more satisfying back in the day when we used to have the Motorola Razr and all of those, and you wanted to put the phone down on someone, you just snap it closed as well. Pushing the little red button on an iPhone isn't quite as satisfying. But doesn't it take up more space? I think you and I, when you were here with it, you were actually in studio with me, Claire, and you had them. I just found them to be a little bit bulky. I don't know really how much more practical they are. But you've been living with them for a while, so you give me your thoughts.
So I must say I have a very small handbag, and when I had a flip, I kind of left it open to just slot in like that. But normally it's very easy for putting in my pockets. I mean, the ladies' jeans pockets are tiny, so I've always found the flips very easy to own. The other thing is, and again, I'm going back to what's new now, is you don't even have to necessarily open the flip all the time to use to make use of your phone. You can actually do a lot more on the front screen. Your WhatsApps, you're answering calls, you can watch Netflix if you want. So that front screen has worked out really well for them. So if you're okay with, a little bit of a bulkier phone, but a smaller one,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
you do. I think the Flip's a great phone for you to own.
Do you get a sense that maybe Samsung is moving away from trying to compete with iPhone when it comes app to app and design to design and iOS to iOS, and rather just go for, I don't want to call it gimmicky, the flip phones, but they're trying to get a bit more niche because they can't just keep on going head to head with the Apple iPhones of the world?
Well, so when we were at the presentation for Samsung, a big part of it was nostalgia and how people who haven't even experienced flip phones when they first came out still feel that nostalgia. There's a term for it, but I cannot remember, anemia or something like that.
Yeah.
And it just, the flip phone brings out something in people, takes us back to the good old days, that kind of thing. So I don't know I still think if Apple came out with something that, Android users would want. Android would have to get on the ball and sort that out. And we have to kind of provide to what the consumer wants. So, you can't just have something that an Apple device has and an Android won't. So I think there's a lot. I think moving away, maybe they're identifying themselves, they call it the coolification of Samsung, because they are trying to be, I wouldn't say trying to be, they have been very, how Apple is integrated. You can have an iPad, your Mac, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Samsung is going that way as well, where you can use your different devices at the same time, and it's just the integration of having one sort of brand that you deal with.
Yeah, I think it's, when you talk about the nostalgia, it's scary to think that there are youngsters running around these days who never experienced the flippy phones that you and I had back in the day, the clamshell phones. You'll never know the joy of putting the phone down on someone and slamming it with your hands.
But Nokia's bringing those back.
They are bringing it back. I know, we're going to talk about that, but I know
Yeah.
Nokia, those were the big favorites. I think mine was the Nokia 3310, still indestructible. I still think it's the best phone around. But Claire, for the moment, maybe we do something on Nokia next time, bringing the retro phones back. Clare Petra Matthes, a gadget gal, joining us, tech journalist, of course. All things rehabilitative for the simulators of the world, and also a Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 5. Flip 5, Fold 5, I'm losing track where we are these days. But if you're a fan of them, I certainly hope you enjoy it. I don't like folding my phone in half, though. I'll stick to my good old-fashioned iPhone. Claire, thank you, as always, for your time.